right now on SAU Weekly, a bold vision.
These are just directions that we could go should the opportunity arise.
A multi-million-dollar campus master plan proposes a new academic building, additional green space, and more parking. How city leaders and campus neighbors are responding. And housing upgrades. Tiedemann Hall gets its first renovation in decades.
The students are happy with it. It was a good learning experience.
We show you the improvements. Plus, we're joined by SGA President Matt Ardaugh to highlight his first 150 days in office. And in sports, a strong start. SAU men's soccer opened their season with a 5-game winning streak. Plus, marching forward.
Small private colleges are really where I feel most at home.
The Fighting Bee Marching Band welcomes a new director ahead of their fall season. Your latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University starts right now. Welcome to this edition of SAU Weekly, your source for the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University. I'm Grant Ward.
And I'm Ellie Seeberger.
St. Ambrose University's new campus master plan is currently in review and approval. The university has stated its purpose is to meet current and future needs of its student population. Major amendments listed include an improved entrance to campus at West Rogalski Drive, expanded parking between Brown and Gaines Street, outdoor recreation facilities outside of McCarthy Hall, and a new academic building in place of Davis Hall. Now, St. Ambrose is looking to work together with campus neighbors and the Davenport City Council to move forward.
The request to St. Ambrose University to amend the campus land use plan bounded by Harrison Street, West Locust Street, Brown Street, and Lombard Street.
In Davenport City Hall.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council, for this opportunity.
Discussions continue on the campus's master plan.
The 10-year plan is an opportunity for the university to just publicly put out some of the ideas that we're thinking about. Academic space in particular is a big one, but also just campus beautification.
SAU and the city of Davenport have been working on this master plan since the university commissioned it in 2023.
Our city staff, our planning department, has worked hand in hand with the staff from St. Ambrose to make sure that it adheres to our zoning code and is in a good position to bring to the city council. We see St. Ambrose as an anchor institution in the city of Davenport, and we want them to be successful.
This success doesn't just affect the student population, however.
It also is very much in keeping with, the staff and faculty support needs and the needs of our neighbors. Neighbors are absolutely an important part of that planning process.
The plan has brought up resident concerns about parking.
One of the constraints of being located adjacent to neighborhoods is the parking. The high amount of surface parking that they want to do along western side of Gaines Street. It's a lot of parking, and we want to know what that's going to look like.
And in the past, it's been when they have parking lots, they turn into buildings and expansion.
Alongside questions on future plans for plot development and expansion.
This master plan essentially says that St. Ambrose is not planning any development south of Locust. Although St. Ambrose owns many properties south of Locust, there's going to be a push towards St. Ambrose that if you're not going to include those parcels in your master plan, then you need to work with the city to try to get them into somebody else's hands.
And Mayor Pro Tem McGinnis, just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, you would like me to come back to be ready to answer the question, are we able to commit to no future property purchases?
That's correct. Out of your boundaries, yes.
The current master plan is still moving forward.
Our enrollment is up, partnership with Mount Mercy. There's just a lot of energy and momentum coming around that.
With the guidance of city leaders and campus neighbors.
St. Ambrose is a good partner, and they work well with the city of Davenport. They understand the importance and significance of being good neighbors and good stewards, and I do believe the campus continues to get better, and I think this master plan is going to move St. Ambrose forward for the next decade as well.
For SAU Weekly,
10 yeses, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, and that ordinance moves to second consideration.
I'm Grant Ward. We'll continue to bring you updates regarding the university's master plan as the story develops. You can also attend Davenport City Council meetings Wednesday evenings at 5:30 at Davenport City Hall.
Despite the addition of 29 new student parking spots north of the Rogalski Center, students still say there's not enough Zone 1 parking around campus. The spots are lined with both yellow and white paint, indicating their use for both students and staff. The additions come after students raised concerns about the limited spaces for Zone 1 parking pass holders. Many would find it frustrating to see no available spots in the lots they were paying to use.
I don't really like the parking or like the assignment right now because I paid for a Zone 1 ticket or a Zone 1 parking spot, and sometimes I will come back from work and there won't be any spots, and I'm like, well, I paid for it, so I'm supposed to get it, right? But sometimes I don't get it, and I have to park in like the faculty.
The additional parking spaces work on a first-come, first-served basis for what campus security says is an additional step to improve the campus experience.
Over the summer, Tiedeman's apartment-style building, a long-time housing option on campus, was fully renovated for the first time in decades. The updates include new flooring, a fresh coat of paint, a modernized kitchen, and new bathroom features. Other new amenities include LED light fixtures and brand new furniture for both the living room and bedrooms. SAU residents Life and Physical Plant say it's one step in the continued effort to update campus housing.
So the biggest thing is Tiedemann actually, even though the building looks like it's one building now, Tiedemann was built before Hagen was. Hagen was added on afterwards. So Tiedemann is one of the, out of the preferred areas, the oldest building that we have. It was built right around the townhome or the townhouses. So it hadn't been really anything done to it in the last 25, 30 years since it was built. It's also been continually used for summer housing needs and then for internship needs that entire time. So it was not given a break for decades on end.
We gathered costs for each dorm to say, okay, here's what we're looking at for cost-wise, and when it comes to Tiedemann and Hagen, for sure, we pretty much had to touch every spot. There was repainted, all flooring, new appliances, all that stuff. So from the time kids graduation to time when kids move back in, I think it was 48 days that we had to get it turned around. And it's just, it's a big task for that amount of time, plus everything else going on. So there was a lot of new pieces at play on how this was all gonna lay out. So yeah, it turned out, I think the students are happy with it. It was a good project, it was a good learning experience.
Residence Life says that more upgrades are on the way, including renovations to Hagen and the townhouses in the coming years.
Coming back to campus for the new school year, you may have noticed new banners on the Wellness and Recreation Center, Rogalski Center, and Cosgrove Hall. It's all part of the university's efforts to rebrand. The rollout has been underway for the past couple years, but the new brand is much more than just logos and color schemes.
For a long time, this university has been the center of this community. For us, it was an opportunity to tell the new story of who we are and where we're headed. A brand is so much more than just the colors and the logo, and it's really about the people. It's about the experiences that students, alumni, and the community have when they interact with St. Ambrose.
The full rollout is still underway, but the university says the goal is simple: give students and alumni a stronger sense of pride and connection to what it means to be an Ambrosian.
Coming up next on SAU Weekly, we take a look at the goals and accomplishments of the new Student Government Association.
In this week's edition of What's the Buzz, I'll sit down with SGA President Matt Ardaugh to highlight his first 150 days in office. We'll be right back.
Visit Ragged Records, one of the largest record stores in the Midwest. Browse more than 30,000 new and used records, from timeless classics to new releases, and rare finds in every aisle. New to collecting vinyl? Check out our large selection of stereo equipment to spruce up your listening experience. Find your group at Ragged Records, located along Motor Row in Davenport and in Rock Island next to Roz Talks.
Capture a piece of the past with Trash Can Annie, where vintage meets vibrant in every stitch. Browse our carefully curated collection of clothing and accessories, ranging from the late 1800s to current styles. Dress to impress with Laura's unique style and wardrobe consultations. Find a style and make it yours with Trash Can Annie, your destination for timeless fashion.
Whether you're a competitive runner, looking to stay fit, or just looking for comfort and support, Running Wild has you covered. Locally owned for more than 3 decades, Running Wild is the Quad City's trusted source for athletic wear and accessories. No matter your experience level, we'll help you find the right fit with all the top brands for running and walking and the latest in running apparel. Open 7 days a week, just up Brady Street. Don't walk, run to Running Wild, your run specialty store.
Newly elected Student Body President Matt Ardaugh recently hit the milestone of 150 days in office. In this week's What's the Buzz, SAU Weekly's Ellie Seeberger sits down with Ardaugh to talk about his initiatives so far and his goals for the rest of the year.
Thanks, guys. Joining us now is SGA President Matt Ardaugh. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
First off, congratulations on completing your first 150 days as president. Reflecting on this time, what has been your biggest accomplishment so far?
Yeah, I think just student involvement and awareness is something that we've really worked on. We want everyone to be able to feel like they have a purpose here at St. Ambrose and feel connected to things. So we found a few areas of opportunity that we can improve on in terms of communicating about events that are going on every week, about getting kids to different clubs, getting kids to sporting events. So a big thing we're working on is the Swarm. We did a Swarm pep rally kickoff for the volleyball team yesterday. We wanted to give away, it was going to be a Grandview vacation to go to the Grandview, and our university lawyers told me no. They said, you can't do that, can't send a vacation. So I said, okay, let's give away a tailgate for homecoming. So we had about 150 people show up to it. Yeah. So things like that, getting kids out of their dorms has been a big thing.
Yeah. And I know one of your biggest goals of your campaign was to just kind of ensure that every student had a voice, kind of like what you mentioned. What strategies have you implemented to kind of make sure that that happens? Yeah,
so we have a pretty active group of people that are helping out, going around talking to students, making sure that students all feel like they're having their voices heard. We're going to be having a student satisfaction survey, just going to be a quick one-off QR code you can scan. A lot of the hot button issues that kids have been having issues with, we've been working to fix. So we actually had meetings this week about like wood silverware in the cafeteria and food court, trying to go back to plastic, create a recycling alternative to increase sustainability while giving students the convenience they liked with the plastic silverware. So we're working on hearing about voices for that, different panels that are going on with forums. So you'll be hearing about some QR codes coming out soon about surveys. Food committee will be starting up soon as well, things like that.
And a big part of your role is to kind of like bridge the gap between administration and the students. So how have you and your exec board kind of done that?
Yeah, I'd say the administration's been very helpful and cooperative with working with us to make sure that everything we want gets accomplished in a respectful and timely manner. So one big thing we wanted, I went to Christopher Wall last year, and I said, look, we have that big faculty staff parking lot, and Ambrose has done it with my employees they might have had a few years ago. We have all these empty parking spots. I said, what can we do about making that back row turn over to student parking? And they said that they didn't want a permanent, because once you give it to student parking, you can't really take it back very easily. So we created this hybrid lot. If you see, it's like a striped line where it's white and yellow. So students and staff can both park in that back line 24 hours of the day. So something like that. I worked with Christopher Waugh, Bob Christopher. We made sure that we could get that taken care of. We had a few parking issues earlier this year, and we talked. Bob Christopher was pretty helpful with us on that. I see Jason Richter about 2-3 times a week, and we work on stuff pretty frequently. Want to make sure that he's communicating with us and we're getting everything done that we want to see done. So the administration has been very helpful, I would say.
And moving forward into the school year as you kind of complete this year, what's your biggest goal?
Our biggest goal is making sure that everyone has a purpose at Ambrose and everyone's having fun here. So whether it was the Swarm events that we did, we partnered with a lot of great local Quad City businesses. We're doing a student discount program. Our freshmen should have got a magnet in their NSS class. We'll be passing them around at some of the SGA tablings that we have coming up. We have a few extra we're sitting on, we're passing out there. So making sure that everyone feels connected to both Ambrose, through your clubs and organizations, through our This Week at SAU events that we've done, through whether it's trying to get ping pong tables on campus, through more parking opportunities, through we did some stuff during Welcome Week. We bought the signs. If you saw the Welcome to SAUB signs that was on the Rogo lawn was us. So making sure that there's always something going on for kids on campus, whether if we're planning it, if we're helping CAB plan it, or we're funding another club and organization. We're working with engineering right now to get them some money for a few improvement projects on campus. So just things like that is a big thing. I want everyone to feel connected, and I wanted to see this campus thrive.
Yeah. And I mean, we see that as a campus, so thank you for all of the work that you've done so far, and best of luck in the rest of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go Bees.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ellie. Coming up next in sports, an exciting new chapter in women's athletics here at SAU, and the Fighting Me Marching Band welcomes a new director ahead of their fall's marching season. Join SAU Weekly's Ross Willerth as he takes you inside SAU athletics. Stay tuned.
Tune in to KALA and hear something different. Programming that celebrates the diversity of our listeners. We're advocates for the arts, showcasing your favorite music from around the world. We're storytellers, producing award-winning news and educational podcasts. We're dedicated sports fans, bringing you the latest Fighting Bee action from St. Ambrose University. We're a learning lab, mentoring the next generation of broadcasters and content creators. A part of your community for 5 decades. We're KALA Radio, 88.5 FM and 106.1 FM. Turn it on and turn it up. Ready the studio in 3, 2.
Welcome to this edition of SAU Weekly, your source for the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
We begin with breaking news after a vehicle crashed into a non-residential campus building overnight.
We should always have places to promote inclusivity on and off campus.
You guys got the opportunity to scrimmage against 3 Division I basketball teams. How did your team benefit from that later on in the season?
Well, I think it's just a great experience for our players.
Being able to run and be around the people that I enjoy gives me a reason to be passionate about running.
Welcome to Stingers, discussions with SAU Bees over everyone's favorite drinks.
What happens to you, though, seriously, if you drink the whole cup?
You get all your papers done. And
yeah, right.
Big news for St. Ambrose University athletics as they officially announced the launch of a women's wrestling program, set to begin next year. The university announced the addition early last week and is currently looking for a head coach. The university is excited to build a new varsity team that will compete nationally and open doors for female athletes. This move follows a growing trend nationwide as more schools add one of the fastest growing sports in the country.
We have a really big and quality group of student athletes here. I mean, we do so well in the classroom. We're so involved in our community. We're competitive. We check all of those boxes.
Once a head coach is chosen, the recruitment process for the fall 2026 season of women's wrestling will begin. Last Saturday, the men's soccer team played the Upper Iowa Peacocks at home. The Bees were eager to continue their undefeated streak into Game 5. But could they do it? Let's find out. It was a beautiful Saturday evening for some Fighting Bees men's soccer, and freshman Josh Simon made it even better by scoring the first goal of the game. But the Peacocks would respond quick, scoring here and tying the game at 1-1. With 1 minute to go in the first half, senior Kai Yoshikane has no time to waste and kicks the ball right over everyone's heads, scoring this goal right in the corner. The Bees are up 2-1 going into the second half. And after some back and forth in the second half, the ball seamlessly makes its way from Jorn Reck to Jake Pollock and into the goal. The Bees are up by 2. And goalie Dawson Yegi would make sure no more goals would be scored, saving 3 of the 11 shots from the Peacocks. With a final score of 3-1, the Bees would add a 5th win onto their streak. Unfortunately, the winning streak would end for the Bees as they fell to Grandview on Wednesday with a score of 3-1. The Fighting Bees football team has had a rough start to their 2025 season campaign, but hope to turn it around this Saturday in their home opener against Central Methodist. The Bees fought hard in their first 2 games of the season against Briarcliff and Missouri Baptist, but ultimately came up short on the scoreboard. The Bees had standout performances on both sides of the ball, with Quad City local quarterback Alec Ponder throwing for almost 600 total yards, as well as 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing. On defense, senior linebacker Colin Gudella has been a part of over 20 tackles and is hoping to help lead his team to a victory this week.
I feel really good, like I said, it's been 2 really tough losses, and it's good to be back home, after being on the road and being overnight trips. It's hard on us, but, offensively we feel pretty good. We're explosive offense, and I think we just got to keep going, and I think we've done a good job, but, we have a lot more to improve on.
Being home is always great, having our family and friends around, so I think we just got to show out and do what we do best, so getting off the field and getting our offense the ball, giving them chances, getting turnovers, I think that'll put us in a real good spot.
Be sure to catch the Bees this Saturday at Jack and Pat Bush Stadium at 12 p.m. as they take on Central Methodist in their home opener. As always, you can catch all the action on KALA 106.1 FM. The SAU Marching Band is also looking forward to tomorrow's home football matchup. But following the departure of director Megan Hobbs, the band is ushering in another season with a new director at the helm. Let's head to the Dome for more. Every year, many newcomers are drawn to SAU for one reason or another. It could be for sports, the community, or music, as it is for this new Fighting Bee.
And stand by.
But he's no student. Meet Dr. Matthew Winarski, the new marching band director.
There's just a really cool energy and a really cool culture that small private institutions have that just are just really fun. And having worked at several before, I think really prepares me to integrate into this already really close-knit culture.
Dr. Winarski brings over a decade of marching band experience from Otterbein University and North Dakota State University, as well as other public schools in Minnesota and North Dakota. Band members say that he already fits right in among the band, like newcomer Carver Reese.
He's very passionate towards music and how this band functions as a whole. He's also very patient. I feel like he understands that people have a lot of stuff going on, even not just besides marching band, and he's super positive about making sure that everybody's well-rounded and can get a good band experience.
Keep moving forward.
And Winarski has big hopes for the band going forward.
That energy and excitement that the Fighting Bee Marching Band has is really evident here on campus, and you just see it everywhere. I would really like to see how far outside of campus can we take that.
With a vision for the future, Winarski is marching the band and its legacy into an exciting new era. With SAU Weekly, I'm Ross Willarth. You can catch the SAU Marching Band's halftime performance at tomorrow's football home opener. Over the summer, the SAU Esports team began renovations of the Cosgrove Computer Lab in the hopes of expanding their current space. SAU Weekly's Grant Ward takes us behind the scenes of the development process.
A project almost a year in the making.
This dates back to Christmas break of 24-25.
Was finally becoming reality.
I noticed the printing lab that was in there was gutted, so to speak. And I stopped physical plant and I said, hey, do you know if there's any plans to do anything with this room? And they're like, no.
The St. Ambrose Esports team began renovations to turn Cosgrove's computer lab into a new esports facility.
I think after spring break, we ended up officially getting the room, and then over summer, we got the B card access.
Under the eye of one SAU senior.
It started off as more or less like a personal project, I just wanted to try and leave my impact on the program for any future students.
Yet during the first week of the semester, construction was halted.
The physical plant found out of our construction. They just needed to look over a few things before we continued anything.
Safety is #1 priority, and making sure the room's up to standards and all that, and making sure it's how we like it, not just cramming ourselves and cramming desks in there.
The question of when construction will resume is up for debate.
Optimistically by 3rd week of September, but I would push for a hard deadline before October 1st.
It's physical plant. I'd imagine time could vary with them.
But the program is ready whenever they get the call.
The paint's on the wall, the flooring's out, the desks are out, so it's really just a carpet layer and a fresh paint away from being move-in ready.
For SAU Weekly, I'm Grant Ward.
Thanks, Grant. Good luck to the esports program as they start their fall season. And that'll do it for Inside SAU Athletics. I'm Ross Willarth.
That's all we have for you on this edition of SAU Weekly. We'll be back next week with the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
Remember to check out the SAU TV Facebook and Instagram pages for our newscasts, top stories, and more. You can also find them on our newly revamped student media hub, The Hive, at sauthehive.com. Thanks to our Hive editors and our partners at Twin State Media for the new look.
We'll leave you with this week's campus question. How was your summer? Thanks for watching.
And this summer I took a trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
So I worked here at the KALA radio station with David Baker.
I took my family down to the Tampa Bay area and we were there for about a week for a little getaway before school started.
I ran and biked with my old high school teammates.
Is there anywhere really cool that you went running?
Yeah, Davenport.
I went to England with Dr. Coomber. We went to London, we went to Sheffield, we went to York and Cambridge, and Dr. Coomber drove, and we survived.